Backstage, I'm starting fights off everybody. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Tonight, our first look at body cam video from the Miami Beach police the day they arrested MMA fighter Conor McGregor.
He doesn't have anything on him, right? No. Jewelry.
Conor McGregor, once celebrated as the fiery Irishman who conquered the UFC with stunning victories, now finds himself battling a very different opponent, his own reputation. Just 6 years after a woman in Dublin accused him of sexual assault, McGregor's image has shifted from fearless champion to a man trapped in scandal, arrogance, and self-destruction. The fighter who once electrified arenas with dazzling knockouts now makes headlines for chaos outside the octagon. How did one of combat sports' most magnetic stars rise so high, only to come crashing down? Let's take a closer look at the meteoric rise and shocking downfall of Conor McGregor. Born in Dublin, McGregor started out as a struggling plumber, seemingly destined for a modest life. But in the UFC octagon, he became a phenomenon. His unorthodox style, blending karate, boxing, taekwondo, and jiu-jitsu, shocked opponents and thrilled fans. With a devastating left hand and a relentless fighting spirit, McGregor tore through legends and rose to superstardom. The world couldn't get enough. Pay-per-view records shattered. Crowds erupted into chants of the Notorious every time he fought. And in December 2015, he cemented his place in history. Facing the undefeated Jose Aldo, McGregor promised a first-round knockout and delivered it in just 13 seconds. That moment crowned him as king, the biggest star the UFC had ever seen. But behind the glory, cracks were already forming. By 2017, McGregor wasn't just fighting, he was chasing spectacles. His boxing showdown with Floyd Mayweather drew more than 4 million pay-per-view buys and earned him nearly $100 million. Overnight, he was no longer just a fighter. He was a global superstar, mentioned alongside names like Ronaldo and Beyoncé. But that spotlight came at a cost. Mayweather exposed McGregor's limits. After a fast start, the Irishman quickly ran out of steam. By the 10th round, exhaustion overtook him, and the referee waved it off. It wasn't just a loss, it was a blow to McGregor's pride. Soon after, the disciplined warrior was replaced by a celebrity drowning in excess. Yachts, parties, and whiskey brands began to replace the grind of training camps. The fall accelerated in 2018 when McGregor's trash talk against Khabib Nurmagomedov crossed every line imaginable, insulting his family, religion, and heritage. But Khabib wasn't rattled. In the octagon, he dominated McGregor, forcing him to tap out in the 4th round. Millions watched as McGregor's aura of invincibility was shattered. And then came the scandals. In 2019, footage of McGregor punching an older man in a Dublin pub went viral, sparking outrage worldwide. Just a year earlier, he had hurled a metal dolly through a UFC bus window, injuring fighters and ending up in handcuffs. Each incident further eroded his reputation. Lawsuits and accusations piled up, from smashing a fan's phone in Miami to alleged assaults in Europe. While many cases never resulted in convictions, the sheer number of headlines turned the public against him. As one commentator put it, he's no longer a legendary fighter. He's just a name tied to trouble. Even his business empire began to crumble. McGregor sold a majority stake in Proper 12 whiskey for hundreds of millions in 2021, but was quietly cut from its marketing campaigns afterward. Sponsors like Reebok and Bud Light distanced themselves too. The man who once turned everything he touched into money was now considered too toxic for brands to stand beside. And just last week, on September 25th, 2025, McGregor made headlines once again, this time demanding $100 million and 100 golden visas in exchange for fighting at a planned UFC event at the White House next year. The backlash was instant. Fans and critics slammed the request as pure arrogance, calling it another example of a fighter detached from reality. Once, McGregor represented the dream that a hungry underdog could conquer the world. But somewhere along the way, his discipline gave way to ego, and his ambition was replaced by indulgence. In truth, Conor McGregor's greatest opponent was never Mayweather, Khabib, or anyone inside the octagon. His downfall was written in the arrogance, excess, and reckless choices that consumed him outside of it. From Ireland's pride to a global cautionary tale, McGregor's story is a reminder of a harsh truth. You can defeat every rival in the ring, but if you can't master yourself, you will eventually lose everything.